Over the weekend, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visited President Trump at the White House. In a display of diplomacy, Mr. Abe was requested by Japanese media to shake hands with Mr. Trump. This handshake lasted a rather long 19 seconds, and American media mocked Mr. Trump for patting and seemingly yanking Mr. Abe's hand. However, as a linguistics major and having lived in Japan for almost 10 years, I was much more captivated by the hilarious language gaffe that Mr. Abe made. While the two leaders were shaking away, Japanese photographers requested them to look towards the cameras. Mr. Trump, not understanding Japanese, asked what they had said, and Mr. Abe made a novice English grammar mistake, which quickly created an awkward and homoerotic vibe. Let's watch.
What is this? Please, look at me.
Problem. When speaking in Japanese, reporting information using direct speech is perfectly fine. In other words, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and speaking as if you were them. Standard American English, on the other hand, does not allow this, with the exception of very casual and informal speech. Mr. Abe simply repeated the direct words that the photographers used when addressing Mr. Abe and Mr. Trump. Because Mr. Abe used direct speech when speaking English, Mr. Trump followed the straightforward request and stared at Mr. Abe with a love-struck smile. Solution. English most often uses indirect speech. This means that when we English speakers report what someone has said, we report from our own perspective, not from the perspective of another person. The following statement is what Mr. Abe should have said. They are saying to look at them. If Mr. Abe had used indirect speech when reporting from Japanese into English, Mr. Trump would not have misinterpreted him. But thanks to Mr. Abe, these slapstick moments will live on and remind us to tread more carefully when using English, especially in such momentous and public appearances and events. Moral of the story: study English, and when you goof up, laugh about it and swear to never make the same mistake again. Let's hope Mr. Abe has already promised himself that.
All right, thank you, Cass.
Thank you, everybody.